Aquí es. Hola, hijos. La temporada de araña es muy cerca. Es muy cerca. Good evening, everyone. It's Gavin here. I thought we'd do a live stream. Been a little crazy lately. I've been working on some new products. Shout out to all of you guys. Been working on some new stuff over on my photo product side of things. I'm going to be uploading some videos to my other channel, my youtube.com/Sime Studios channel. Good evening to you all. Buenas noches. And shout out to all you guys there in the live stream. So anyways, what I was getting at in Spanish when I first opened up there is the season. Okay, the season of spiders is very close down here in the plateaus of Central Mexico. That's what que pasa. Que pasa. La temporada de arañas. Now, should you be afraid? Should you be afraid that that spider season is here? Are you afraid of eternal damnation? Heck yes, you should be afraid. It's freaking spider season. Let me show you. Let me show you what comes out in spider season. Hola, Estados Unidos. Hola, Mexicanos, amigos. Thank you all, okay? Let me just show you. Let me just give you a little inside view. This is what we see in spider season. I want to show you how big this is, all right? You see my hand and you see this spider? This is okay, this is probably not entirely realistic. I think this is an enlarged view because that would be like 10 inches, all right? And this, no offense to my Australian friends, but this is not Australia. We don't have spiders this freaking large, all right? Conspiracy against transparency. Thanks for the shout out. I do no good in prison in the United States, I'm afraid. So, all right, la temporada, that might actually be correct. Temporada, I always say temporada, that's like season, but my conjugations suck. Okay, so in Mexico, not so much in the plateaus. The central plateaus are pretty concerning. These spiders are actually just large garden spiders, but they're kind of freaky. I gotta tell you a little story. And it connects to what's going on in the news today, because the web is being spun for you in the United States as well. However, these spiders, they're very colorful. I can't say, hang on, I'm gonna take a sip of my crystal clear water de Mexico. All right? I was out taking photos with Sandra around September, late September last year. This really is water. I don't drink this full glasses of vodka, all right? I'm out taking photos with Sandra and we're like prancing around and I've got her in something a little bit sexy, you know, and she's walking around out here. And there are these spiders hanging every freaking where, all right? There's every span of branches that's more than, it reminded me of blue ISIS, right? Because you couldn't look and they weren't there. Every span of branches, there was webs like hanging across. And this would be my Latin kind of sucks, Argiope aurantia. And this is a fairly common garden spider found in different places of the world. But around here, it's like they go sex crazy in August or something, right? Is my sound clipping or is it okay? Let me know. Too loud or too quiet? Oh, hold on. There, how's that better? Let me know if it goes bad, okay? How about that? This thing always wants to fall down and it goes like this against my pecs, all right? It goes against my pecs and it sounds terrible. So anyways, we're out taking photos and there's all these spiders and we're having to kind of walk around, right? Like every bush you come to, you stop. Every bush you come to, you stop and you'd be like, how many spiders are there? And there'd be like 5 or 6 big old spiders, like this big, colorful. Now these spiders actually, fortunately, because we would all die, not just of the heart attacks, but of them if these were really poisonous, right? These spiders rarely bite. And if they do, it's like a bee sting, right? They're just not an aggressive spider and they're not likely to bite, like even the locals, right? you can rest assured that if they were really dangerous, the local moms would be all paranoid about them, and they're not even. Heck, the local moms aren't even paranoid about scorpions here, right? Sometimes I find scorpions in the house, and my cook is like, oh no, it's fine, it's just like a bee sting. And I'm like, that's not a... Yo soy muy fuerte. No tienes miedo. Miedo? Miedo. I always get, here's the problem. For you Spanish knowers, I have a really hard time with fear, which is miedo. And I get it confused all the time with mieda. 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 Different word. Completely different word. Anyways, these spiders are everywhere, so we take some photos, and then we're walking back, and we're walking through the grass, and I'm looking in the grass, and when I say they're everywhere, like I didn't know how everywhere these guys were. They are like skittering around our feet in the grass as we're walking, and I'm just like, So anyways, the spider season is nearly here, but what does that bring me to in relation to something relevant? Well, speaking of webs being strung for you, Donald Trump just stole $3.6 billion with a B from the American people to build some 170 some odd miles of new wall. Read prison, because of course the wall is not to keep bad guys out. The bad guys are already running your country and, well, building walls around you. It's to keep you in, and it will. So keep a close eye on that, because while this is not enough to completely close the border, it's really important to understand, and I've been getting more and more reports from people. When you leave the USA now, there is a wall, right, supported by fake patriots and fascists all over the US, the idol worshipers of the state, the new Reich, that says build a wall despite the fact that it's forbidden by the Constitution, despite for the fact that it's pointless for safety, despite the fact that restricting immigration is completely illegal and it's treason. Build that wall to protect us. But really, they've just been reverse psychology brainwashed. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Appreciate those tacos. That is $4.99 is 10 tacos. So, gracias, amigo. Anyways, I was thinking about spider season, and like, spider season. I was out spraying tonight around like the camper and areas around the house, just so I don't have to wade through them, right? I was just putting some bug spray, like before they get big, I'm starting to see the babies hanging from the trees. And then I'm thinking about how Trump just stole from the stolen money coffer, right? So he absconded like $3.6 billion that was meant for defense, like military spending, which of course is just stolen money used to terrorize the world, to now help terrorize our own people by building a wall. And it's important to understand, I'm getting reports more and more often from people who are leaving, because there's a lot of people leaving. It's not just the Mexicanos that are leaving in greater numbers than they're entering the USA. It's those of us that have lived there all our lives, and we're seeing the handwriting on the wall. We're seeing history. We actually have learned our history. We know how Nazi Germany ends. We're seeing what's happening. And the check stations, the infrastructure at the border to keep you from leaving now is massive. Now, that doesn't mean they always do. You're not even always checked. When I escaped, there was nobody monitoring the exit right then there, on cameras, of course, but there was no actually checking of papers. But I've talked to people that are now starting to come through. Hey, Fitzcam's down here in Mexico too. He's seen this stuff. Talking to people that are starting to come through that are now actually starting to be checked leaving the country, like Berlin style, right? You got to go through the check station to leave your own country. And it just kind of made me think of that spider web that's just kind of surrounding, the spider web of control, of fear, of, oh, we have to be protected from terrorists, of, oh, the immigrants will do this, oh, the immigrants will take our job. Which, by the way, the whole narrative of the immigrants taking your job was never meant to be serious. It's from South Park, guys. It's from South Park. The idea that if you have an economy of any sort of function, that poor people coming in to work hard will take jobs is utterly ludicrous, except to people who have no concept of basic economics. So beware the web that they're building, because that wall is like a spider web being built around you to turn your country into prison, which effectively it already is, in the sense that if you don't do exactly as you're told, you will be killed or go to prison. But it can get worse. It can get worse. Let me just see here. What else can we talk about? I don't want to stay on too long. I believe my kids want to watch The Karate Kid. You have to understand something. I've talked about the spiders, I've talked about the web being built in the USA, and the continued abuse of our prisoners like Jeff Winehouse, Jim Hamilton, Schaefer Cox. Let's not forget Larry Swearingen, who Texas just executed about 2 weeks ago after he sat in solitary for 30 years. Despite being proven factually innocent of the crime, they executed him anyhow because they have to win, you guys. They can't admit they were wrong. And in fact, the statement on Larry Swearingen's case from the Fifth Circuit Federal Court of Appeals was that this court, and I'm virtually quoting, you can look this up, it's on my page, this court has long established that factual innocence is not sufficient grounds to stop an execution. Let me repeat that. This is from the court. This court has established, said the Fifth Circuit, that factual innocence is not sufficient to stop an execution. I want to take a moment of silence for Larry Swearingen, who was murdered by Texas a few weeks ago. And the last words of Larry Swearingen before they executed him, and I'm not making this up, this is recorded, this is on the record, the last words, in fact, I want to make sure I get this right. If you go to my page, facebook.com/callmegav, you can actually see, and I posted some photos, and a lot of us were pushing for a governor pardon or a stay for Larry, and they just denied it because that's what Blue ISIS does. So you have to really understand the third world country that you're in if you're in the USA. You have to understand how bad it is and how much danger you and your children really are. This is the statement, first of all, on Larry Swearingen from the Fifth Circuit. Let me read this for a second, and we're going to get to that moment of silence once I make sure you guys know where this is coming from. Okay, this is a man who was convicted of rape and murder, and yet there was never any real evidence, even when he was convicted. It was all weird circumstantial evidence. And then later the forensics showed that he was in jail for traffic tickets at the time the murder was committed, and they still convicted him. And then later the DNA showed that his DNA was not even on the victim at all. This court, says the Fifth Circuit, and I'm quoting here, has uniformly rejected standalone claims of actual innocence as a constitutional ground for prohibiting the imposition of the death penalty. This was their statement on his case. And that's not just messed up. That's murder. Now, I want to look at this here, and I'm just going to show you a photo of Larry. He's right here. He was a little more bald. This was taken a few years ago. These are the parents. These are the parents of the girl that was killed here in the 90s. And despite his innocence, they were still screaming for his death, even though the real murderer of their daughter was never found. That's you notice the Jesus and the cross in the back, and they're holding the photo. And these are the people that wanted this man killed, even though he was shown to be factually innocent. I'll let you fill in the blanks on these people that support this. They were there watching him be murdered. If anyone could have stopped it, right? If anyone could have been stopped it, the trotters here could have stopped it. However, they did not. The final words of Larry Swearingen as they executed him, or more like the final letter, in his final words, he actually described what he was going through as the poison went through his veins. And his final words were, "God forgive them, they don't know what they're doing." So let's just take a moment of silence for Larry Swearingen. Justice is coming, Larry. All right, this gimbal went off, it kind of fritzed on me, so I'm trying to get it up and going again here. I don't know why it is not balanced at this moment, but I had a nice stable shot here, and now it's fritzing out on me a little. Okay, so what else? We've kind of went from humorous and spiders to what's coming in the USA to just a reminder of how bad the USA truly, truly is, and how seriously that should be taken. But that said, spider season, Independence Day is coming soon in Mexico, but the weather's still warm and nice, and tacos are still good, and so it's good. It's good, and we're just still plugging away down here. I've actually been very busy working on some new products for my photo tools and things like that I make. I'm just gonna have to take this off the gimbal because the gimbal is all freaking out for some reason, but I have no idea what's going on. Hang on, bear with me here while I work this out. Wow, so much. I got this Osmo Mobile 3, which is a lovely little gimbal. It folds, so I'm hoping I will use it more when I'm out and about. So this nice mess that I'm making here of this is not my fault. This is highly professional, real-time production, all right? Real time. We're gonna do this in real time, and I have no idea what's going on. It is like so crooked, and what the heck, DJI? Like, it was working fine. Are you kidding me? How about that? Okay, screw this. I'm just gonna set it here and finish this up, because as I was saying, the kids wanna watch the original. You don't wanna see me that close. One of these nights. I was doing so good tonight. The original version of the Karate Kid, because they've been watching Cobra Kai. Hang on, and thank you, the hair, the beard. I've been trying to keep it tidy here. They've been watching Cobra Kai, and here's the thing. This is what I was gonna say. It's still like the 80s here, right? The culture, 70s to 80s. So people are like, oh, I wish I could go back to the 70s or 80s. You can, you simply cross the border into Mexico. And so it's still very popular. It's a very trendy thing right now. All the kids, all the young men in particular, do Taekwondo. And I suppose it's a physical exercise. It keeps them busy, teaches them discipline. And so my kids are kind of obsessed with wanting to do Taekwondo, and I'm fine with that. It's good for them to know, how to be agile and how to move around and all that sort of stuff, right? And so they're kind of obsessed with karate movies, Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, and now they're like, oh, there's an original movie, and I'm like, yeah, guys, that's where it all started. So, there's Sime Kids, they're waiting for me. You can follow Sime Kids too. So yes, I don't know, obviously being agile and strong is good for self-defense. I don't know in practical terms how great karate, Taekwondo, because there's a lot of presentation involved in these, right? But anytime you're fit and can move good, it's going to help you protect yourself and most of all others, because that's usually what you're going to have to do. Daniel, thank you, and appreciate it. Yeah, it's a pretty cool show, but we're going to go watch the original, not Kung Fu Panda. Yes, that's cool too, but Karate Kid. And this dang mic keeps dropping down. You guys could probably hear it when it does it. Next time, I'm finding the best ways to do things. It drops like this, and it falls against my chest. So when it mutes like that, what you're hearing, and I don't mean to be rude, but what you're basically hearing is me talking through my boobs. I just had to give a moment for that to sink in. But I can alternately use a lavalier, which I should have done, but I was feeling lazy, because most people, this is designed, it has a built-in mic, it's designed to be able to just be clipped on, but it always falls down. So it's easier if I just hook a wire to it, because it's a lovely little mic, it's tiny, which is good. I can carry it anywhere, and it means instead of just using the built-in mic, I use these lovely little transmitters, these little Rode mini lavs. Very good. Not quite as much range as some of the bigger mics, but we don't need a talk tech. I have another channel for that. And there goes that mic again. I don't even know if I'll leave this video published. I just want to do an update for you guys, kind of talk about some things. give you some updates. We'll do another Q&A on Mako. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about leaving. What do you do? And we're putting together more and more information. I may even do some videos with my brother, Nathan. You can email us, gavinforliberty@gmail.com, because I don't get to most of the questions in YouTube comments. I try and interact with you guys and stuff, but I can't go off into a rabbit trail on every detailed question. So if you seriously want to escape New Berlin, we're happy to help as many people escape as possible in terms of sharing information. So we're going to be doing more videos on that. Let me know what you guys want to know about. But we're also going to respond to those emails whenever we can. A lot of times Nathan does, because logistically Nathan knows a ton about, what's safe, what different states are like, what the rules are like. I mean, Nathan can tell you right down to the form you need to file, if you want to get legal residency and all that kind of stuff, pretty much. So it's he's very knowledgeable on that. So a lot of times he responds to those types, but we both have that common email address that we watch. And yes, so make more vids about that Zumba chick. That's Mariana. We actually did a photo shoot with Mariana recently. So got some really cute photos of her, and you can see her when I post those. I'm going to post some more of those over on my Instagram /GavinSime as well. So my Instagram is kind of my casual travels and photography. This channel, of course, is more deep conversations, as is my Facebook page, Call Me Gav. My Facebook page, Sime Effects, is my business page. And my YouTube channel, Sime Studios, is my business photography, tech review kind of YouTube channel. It's still pretty small, but we're kind of tinkering with that and still kind of figuring where we want to go with this channel also. Truth Mercy Baptist, I appreciate it. So to all you guys still living under US slavery, be careful, watch your back, know when to get out. And to mi compadres en Mexico, la mejor parte de la paz is libertad, is derechos humanos, is la defensa de la pobre, de la gente, de los niños, de las mujeres. Libertad no es de la gobierno, libertad es de la gente, es de la corazón, es de honrar. Usado esta por libertad inserto. Okay, y'all. You all have a good night. Good to see you all in here. And we'll talk to you soon. Maybe see some of you soon. And I know people keep saying, come back, come back, come back. The last thing I want to do is come back to a country that is devoid of liberty, devoid of hearts that care, that is devoid of justice in every possible sense, especially in our courts, that is truly third world in the way it treats its people. And we're the people. Worst of all, what's worse is not that these things are occurring. The worst part is that the people think this is freedom. Until you leave the USA, whether temporarily or permanently, until you leave the USA, you're simply running on the fuel of propaganda and slavery, or coughing its fumes if you're awake. But you're still coughing its fumes. You can't escape it until you leave. The USA is gone, and it's been gone for a while. And yes, my kid's Spanish in general. I may use it more, but I think they actually understand more than me. So you all have a good night. I'm going to go spend some time with the fam. Just wanted to give you guys an update. Let me know what you want to see in these live streams, because these things don't go viral. These are just us chatting, doing updates. But I try to keep them on point and get some good stuff being talked about. So you all have a good night. Peace out and buenas noches.